Hey, y'all. Welcome back. So I'm bringing a guest that has been on the podcast before, but she was here with her podcast co-host. And so she was not alone. This time she's on her own. She's just here to have a conversation that started in our email. So welcome Alison Bell back to the podcast.
Hey, thanks for having me. Excited.
So today we're going to talk about client experience. She is a photographer. She has her own business. She serves 100% vacationers in Hawaii. Mm-hmm. And so I think that this episode is going to be really interesting because I do think that it takes a different level of client experience and client communication to serve people that are only coming to your location for a short amount of time. And you have to make sure that you have nailed everything before they arrive.
Absolutely. 100%. And it's a different set of boundaries as well, because there's no, whoopsie, let's redo that. Mm-hmm. Or there's very little room for that.
So Alison, tell me about what is currently, well, first of all, let's start this conversation since I know that you don't use one of my quote unquote preferred CRMs. Alison, what CRM do you use?
I use, rest in peace, Tave, Visco, whatever you want to call it. Tave is just rolls off the tongue easier. So if I say they're interchangeable, they're the same, Visco, Tave, whatever.
And just for context, guys, that's what I had before I switched to Dubsado. So I loved Tave, and you guys might have heard me say this before. The only reason that I left was because it was ugly. It was ugly,
it's not cute.
And I couldn't show my films when I was trying to get people to pay me extra money for video. And so I switched to Dubsado just so that I could show people my films. But when I tell you that the level of automation in Tave is the best, it really is the best.
It's so good. It's so good. It fires when you forgot that it's supposed to fire, or you change one thing and it no longer matches your conditions. You know, you really got to learn it. But their support's fantastic. Thank you, Visco Tave support.
Okay, let's jump into your client experience. So what do you think makes the biggest difference for you in client experience because of the specific type of client that you are serving?
Honestly, communication being quick to respond. One of my big policies is as soon as I get a inquiry, I try to respond within 24 hours via text. Yes, they get the autoresponder, thanks for your submission, here's some more information, but I'm fast. Because I know from being a mom and hiring my own photographers, you don't just go find a photographer and inquire with one person. No, you're spewing out the same information, rapid fire amongst all the possibilities, 2 or 3, 4 or 5 at a time. And the first to respond gets your memory. You're not going to remember whose site went with what name and what photo went with what response. So if I can be fast, I'm memorable. And so that's what I try to do.
And I feel like for you, you have a different layer because when people are booking vacations, they are trying to get everything settled right then. Maybe they did a lot of research. They've researched airline tickets and hotel rooms and all the things. And as a photographer, you are probably not their priority. They have booked everything else. And you are kind of like that icing on the cake. Hey, we want a photographer. Now let's find one that can fit us in versus, oh no, you're the one photographer that we want to work with. Oh, you don't have time in July? That's okay. We'll come in August instead. That's not a thing for you.
No, that's not at all. But it is funny hearing you say that because it is the gamut of people. I had a family of 5 that had booked this vacation for months and months, and she called me the week before. I have that. And surprisingly, because it was a slow season, we were able to knock something out. But then there's what was shocking to me being in Hawaii. There's so many extended family vacations, a lot of big anniversaries, 40, 50th anniversaries. We had a 60th anniversary recently, but also big birthdays, terminal illnesses. There's a lot of that stuff where the photos sometimes, I come after the dates, airlines, and hotels, but sometimes before they've booked a luau, before they've booked X, Y, and Z,
because the photos are the priority in that case. They want to make sure that they have these memories. And so when it comes to booking the extras, let's call it the activities.
The extras. Yes. I am itinerary, not set in stone. Yep.
So they are inquiring with you and probably a lot of other people. And you already say that you have an autoresponder. I'm curious. You said that it includes information. What are you including inside of that auto-response?
Okay. So one thing people don't like is that in Hawaii, we're going to do all our sessions at sunrise. I used to think it was torture, like unusual, cruel punishment to ask a mom to have her children dressed and ready, photo ready, and have herself cleaned up and at the photo location before the sun was up. Cruel and unusual. But here in Hawaii, it's the only way to do it. And it's the only way to do it for a lot of reasons. So one of the things I have in my autoresponder is, hey, in case you didn't see on my website, I say this could be a deal breaker, but it really can be a deal breaker. And so I want you to know sessions happen at sunrise. And here's why. Here's a short list. I was like, if you want to read more about it, here's a link to a blog post I wrote about why I only offer sunrise sessions. Some people are like, oh, this is a deal breaker. I'm like, cool. I totally get it. Bless and release. You know your people better than I do. But at the same time, I own the fact that I know this place better than you do. And I know the traffic, and I know the way the beaches work, and I know the weekend versus weekday works. And so this is my policy. And I'm unapologetic about it. It's a hard line I'm going to draw. But also, if that doesn't work for you, I get it.
I mean, I love this. And this is the first time that I've ever heard this be like the deal breaker information that someone needs to know before they even consider booking you. So I'm curious, you're giving it to them in the autoresponder. How many other times are you addressing this within your entire client experience to make sure that, hey, this wasn't this thing that I mentioned to you before you booked and now you forgot. And now we're at, close to the session, you're coming and you're like, oh my God, we're shooting at 6 a.m. Yes. I told you this. How many times are you telling them? Lord.
So it is listed on my contact page that this I only offer sunrise sessions. There's a blog post about it under FAQs. So that's twice on my website. And hopefully they have to see it before they even inquire. My first response back to an inquiry is via text. So that's the text in the first 24 hours. And I say it there. I say it in the text. I say it on my website twice. It goes in the autoresponder email. And we talk about it when I get a client on the phone, because I require all my clients to get on the phone because I do things so differently out here. I let them know, like, this is sunrise time. This is your shoot time. If this is a deal breaker, totally get it. But
okay, I'm going to suggest one more place.
Yeah, let's hear it.
In the confirmation of the call. So when they book the discovery call, that automatic email that they get that is confirming the day and the time, I would put it in there too. Now, you didn't say this, but I'm assuming it's in your contract.
No.
Woo, you should put it in your contract with an initial.
Okay.
Again, I'm trying to make sure that every opportunity that you have, because I mean, that sounds like a deal breaker for many people who have like the small children, but also it's so smart that you do that though, because I can't imagine trying to work with children after they've had an entire day of vacation to be worn out. I mean, never mind the beach and the traffic.
Exactly.
Like, you've partied all day. No, you don't want to come be in front of my camera for an hour.
No, you don't. And I mean, of all the other things, first of all, there's beer bloat, there's sunburns, there's traffic, there's like, you really want to pull them away from this one fun thing you're doing to go get in traffic, to go back to your hotel, to come back into traffic, to get to a photo spot that's gonna be super crowded because everybody's awake now. I mean, all I have to do is say that and people are like, oh, okay, maybe. But jet lag. Everybody's at least 3 hours jet lagged. At least. So we do this first thing in the morning for your first or second day here. You get it done. It's out of the way. And jet lag helps you. Like, usually by that time, I have a conversation with them on the phone about it. I've never had it be a problem after the phone call. So I'm honest with them. I'm very probably too direct for some people, but I'm just, it's such a deal breaker. Like, I'm unapologetic. Yeah.
All right. So we covered your autoresponder. Then you have the discovery call that is absolutely required. After the discovery call, I mean, you're sending them an offer to book, which I think, Alison does have a 5-minute booking process that I talk to everybody about. So we're just going to skip that. What happens after they pay you the money?
After they pay me the money, first of all, I have some autoresponders to remind them to pay me the money and to fill out the questionnaire. So there's a questionnaire attached to that invoice. Some autoresponders if they don't. And then immediately after payment processes, they get my what to wear guide. That is what to wear links to Style and Select. It's my 4-point mama check. And it's a whole like what to wear download. It's the same freebie they've had an offer to. It's like, oh, also, if you haven't downloaded this yet, feel free to check this out. It's another thing I talk about in my onboarding calls where I say, I own that I think what to wear is the worst part of family photos. So I'm here to be as helpful as possible. and they know it's coming. After they book, they get access to Style and Select. And then they also get access to me and all my information. And I have a 4-point mama check that comes 3 days later. So 3 days later, there's a, hey, because I'm not trying to overwhelm everybody with one giant email you're not going to read.
Mm-hmm.
It's, here's a blurb. Okay, 3 days later, here's another blurb. It's my 4-point mama check. Like, we're going to start with you, honey. And here are the things that, since I started doing this email, I've had no wardrobe issues.
Nice.
It's amazing. I have to pinch myself because it's been going on for about 18 months to 2 years. I've not had any issues. So it's check the side boob, check the side bra, check the straps. When you sit down in front of a mirror, do you flash the mirror? Because that's what I'm going to see. It's very, very obvious things like that. And we haven't had any issues. And then, of course, with wind in Hawaii, it's very important. So that is another email. About 2 days later after that, they get another email about wind. Like, we aren't rescheduling Hawaii for wind unless it's gale force. Like, you need, like, unless nothing, you need to check your hair. You need to secure your hair half back if we're going to be on, and it depends on what side of the island we're on, the windward side of the island. You got to put your hair half back. You cannot plan to have it perfectly, beautifully curled and down with long hair. No, you got to put a lepo'o on. You've got to like do half back. You've got to do some bobby pins, something. You got to do something. And then also like we need to make sure our necklines are secured. So with no ruffles, or if you're going to have ruffles, we like tape that junk down, bobby pin it, what have you. And then also Marilyn Monroe moments, I like to call them. Like we want to avoid those too. So no baby doll tees, no baby doll dresses. Everybody's hemline needs to hit at the knee or longer. Even if you're a teenage girl. Like, I get it, but not here.
I mean, I love all of this, but do you know what I love most about you saying this is that you don't seem like one of those people that's like, oh, but I worry about sending my clients too many emails. Alison,
No.
I have heard this. Like I have 13 people in systems in session, and I feel like the last 4 or 5 have all told me, but Coley, that just feels like a lot of emails for my clients. And I'm like, they paid you. This is them wanting the information from you to make it the best service possible. Stop being afraid to send your clients emails.
One of my comforting points is I always go back to what would I want as a mom, as somebody who has hired a photographer, as someone who's been through experiences. My kids are now 10 to 16 years old. I've been doing this for 16 years, right? I go back to what I would want to know and be prepared for. And over again, like I just do it the way I would want to receive it. And I would hope most other photographers would understand that much. You know what I mean? I used to do it in one long big email, like, hey, this is the big kahuna. I owned it up front. Like everything's in one place, save it. And then I just felt like this isn't getting read. It's not effective. And so, live and learn, trial and error.
It's interesting that you said that because you were saying it was an email, but I get clients that are like, oh, but no, I send them a prep guide. And I'm like, okay. And I look through their prep guide. I'm like, oh, this is great. When are you putting it in front of them again? And they're like, what? I'm like, no, you emailed it the first time. You're like, hey, here's this prep guide. Now it's been 3 months since you sent that to them. How many times have you resent it? What are the parts in the prep guide that are most important for them to know, and when? Are you sending an email that says, hey, I just want to put this back in front of you in case it's been a while since you saw it. You might be thinking about buying outfits for your wardrobe. And so just remember, you have access to Style and Select. And also here's my prep guide where I talk about all the do's and don'ts. Make sure that you take it out and you read it again. And then later, like when you're getting ready to prep your kids to come, you want to talk about snacks. You want to talk about all those things. You need to put a prep guide back in front of your clients minimum 2 to 3 times. And you need to do it strategically. So I am not opposed to you giving them one, like, as you said, big kahuna of information, but you also need to strategically feed it back to them. I don't want to say like they're a child, but you need to give it to them in bits that they can digest easily and that they can take action on. Because if you give them a checklist of 10 things after they book you, it's very rare that they're going to go back and visit that checklist. But then if you give it to them, okay, these are the 2 things that you should have done by now. These are the next 2 things that you should have done by now. Like that is your responsibility as the business owner to make sure that everything gets done like you want it to get done.
Oh my gosh. And as you're saying that, I'm thinking like I'm booking clients right now for June. So it's March. Like they're going to get all this stuff in the first, 2 weeks. I need to think of some ways, some conditional emails that aren't going to go out to everybody, that go out back to them 45 days out, 30 days out. Because I've got some things that are based on the primary session date. And then I have some things that are based on when they actually submit payment. Because payments, right? I've got some people that are here within 10 days we're booking a session. It's rare, but it happens. Need them to have the information, but you also want the people that book you 4 or 5 months out to not forget. So that's some room for improvement there for myself as well in my system. But again, it's like, okay, what automation, what condition, how are we going to do this so that it doesn't go to everybody else who already executed their session 3 months? You know what I mean? That's the hard part.
And that's one of the things that I talk to my clients about in planning. Like, I want to plan your entire client experience based on what most of your people are doing. So if the majority of your clients are booking you 5 months in advance, well, we need to plan emails to cover the 5 months between when they're paying you and when they're actually arriving on the island. But for those people that are paying you and arriving 10 days later, some of my clients are like, oh, so we should just send them all the emails. No, we are not sending them all of those emails. Maybe you need a condensed version where if you were communicating things in, like, let's say 7 emails across 5 months, which, guys, that's not a lot of emails.
No, it's not.
But if they're coming in 10 days, maybe you want to send 2 emails that have the most important bits, and then you're sending one more, like, after they arrive on the island, day before their session, that kind of situation. But no, we're not going to just condense the timeline and send those people the same emails. That just doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't. And I think that's the hardest part in getting it is doing it for the 5-monthers and doing it for the 10-dayers and the people in between.
But that's planning.
That's planning. It's just thinking about it, right? Absolutely. Yeah. So they also get a wind email, a what to wear email. They get what to expect at the gallery reveal email. So I do things differently. I own that right up front from the get-go. This is different, and this is how. And so one of the things they know about is that 2 to 3 weeks after their session, we're going to get together on the computer for what I call a gallery reveal and order appointment. And so they've already heard me give it the spiel, what it is, what to expect, and what's going to happen. They got the email. They got the bullet points in that follow-up email. Sorry, y'all, girl, I am all over the place. After the phone call, I email them all the information that we talked about. So then they book. So fast forward to this, what to expect. They get another reiteration of, this is what the gallery reveal is for. This is what you can expect to see. This is what you're going to need to bring yourself. Like, you need to be ready with what you think you want to order. And here's the a la carte guide for the second time. So doing exactly what you said, like, hey, don't forget, this is what this is about. Friendly reminder. Forward this to any decision makers in the group. So a lot of times, especially with these extended families, it's the adult children want to gift the grandparents or the matriarch something. And so there's not always one decision maker. And so they need to share that information. And so I prompt them like, hey, share this with them. 1 week out from a session, they get another email from me saying, hey, you should have checked your clothes, packed them, tried them on for size, double checked your my 4-point mama check. 4-point mama. Yes. You should have X, Y, and Z. A few days out, here's my cell phone number in case you need anything, but we'll be in touch via text a few days before your session to confirm weather.
Yeah.
And then,
of course, you're telling them we don't reschedule for wind. We will only reschedule for torrential rain. But again, like, I'm sure that you're asking them not only when you schedule the date for the session, but you're asking them to tell you the entire timeline that they're going to be there. Now, I'm wondering, do you take it one step further and be like, if they're originally going to have photographs with you in the first 1 to 2 days that they're on island, do you ask them to kind of soft hold something else in case of weather, or is that just really not a concern?
In the winter, sometimes I do. So between the months of November, October to April, Mayish can be really rainy, especially on the windward side of the island. And so I can only, this is part boundary and being a good business person and part just doing it right. I only book 2 sessions a week. And that is because most of my clients are here anywhere from 5 to 7 days, and 2 sessions, 2 days, 1 sunrise each, right? That's 2 days. I can feasibly reschedule 2 people within the same 5-day window if we have bad rain. I've never had to reschedule both of them before. We've had this past, with all the rains and floods that Hawaii's had, we actually ended up just completely canceling one because they were staying on the North Shore. We couldn't get to the North Shore, all these other things. And so in that case, that's a completely different outlier. But by and large, I only schedule 2 sessions a week for that reason. But yes, sometimes I will. I used to a lot in Virginia Beach, but out here, no, I just schedule fewer sessions because quite honestly, it it drives me crazy if I have 3 sessions during a rainy week. Like I've tried that. I've gotten the anxiety and I can't handle it. It's too much.
I mean, it's funny that you mentioned that because whenever anybody says, Cooley, why don't you photograph clients outside? Well, I mean, I'm not photographing anybody currently, but you know what I mean? Back then, they were like, I don't understand why you don't go outside with your clients. And I'm like, I have such bad weather anxiety. And I mean, I live in a gorgeous state. I mean, I would only do that during the summer months, fall anyways. I'm like, but I constantly watch the weather to the fact that it like affects my mental health. And so like I don't want to be dependent on taking somebody out. But again, I'm here and all of my clients are local. And so if we have to reschedule, no big deal. But that is not the case for you.
A lot of time, another option we have a lot of times is we just go to a different part of the island. So it's the windward side that's really rainy and it all depends on where they're staying. So in that call, I get not only their travel dates, their actual feasible dates to do the session, and then where they're staying. Because if you're staying in Waikiki, that's fairly central to multiple options. So if we had planned to go windward, we can just go, hey, let's go 10 minutes the other way. Plus it being the leeward side, the west side of the island, we can start later. And actually, I actually direct a lot of people this way anyway, because we start later. So they get an extra 30 minutes. It rains so much less over there. And it's just easier all the way around than trying to bring them closer to me. And it's actually a further drive for me than, 15 minutes down the road, but it's weather.
It's more dependent.
It's way more
I have a question for you. Have you implemented any client experience videos inside of your process yet?
When I get a new inquiry lead, the first thing I do after Tave does its autoresponder is I send them a text that says, hey, insert first name. It's Alison Bell Photographer. I have your date open if I do. And I'm so excited. I'm going to send you a 1-minute video. And I take a video right then and there, custom to them. I say the same things for everybody. I give them a little lowdown about where they're staying and their options. I tell them, hey, I'm Allison. I'm a mom of 4 boys. They've informed my approach to photography from both sides of the camera. So I do things a little bit differently. When you work with me, you get more than digital files. You get heirloom quality artwork in your hands. So it is a full service experience from start to finish. And all of my sessions happen at sunrise. I know I used to think it was torture, but here in Hawaii, it's really the only way to go. So the next step is to jump on the phone with me so we can talk about what this would look like for you and your people. And of course, pricing and process. I'm going to send you a link so you can book your time to chat. Can't wait. Ding. That's what I say.
Ding, ding, ding. Excellent. Do you have any other videos? Because like the one thing that I have been encouraging my clients to do, especially those who are selling products, is you already said that you're resending your a la carte pricing list. You want to make sure that they have all that information up front. But I have started having my clients like sharing their favorite products and what it might look like and like those kinds of things. Do you have any videos related to your products?
I'm trying. I want to. It is on my list. So one of the things I did recently was I took some photos of my albums and my frames to do a blog post comparison because I have this old lab that I used to use and my new lab, and the workmanship is very different. And so I made a blog post about that with the visuals, but I would love to do video. My only problem is I don't feel like I have a nice enough setup to make it look pretty. Like,
I wish you guys would see my face as she's talking
I know
right now.
that one eyebrow went up and one went down. I wish I could do that. I practice that sometimes. See, I can't do it.
And then she just looked ridiculous. Okay, wait, actually, for anybody who watches The Pit, if you're listening to this and you watch The Pit, she totally looked like the girl who like glued her eyes shut with the nail glue. Okay, I'm sorry.
What is that? Oh, show.
The Pit with Noah Wiley. Okay. Oh my God, this show is awesome. But this season 2, there's a girl who glued her eyes shut. And that's what you look like when you were like this. Anyways. No, I mean, I'm just happy for people who are bringing videos into the experience. And I feel like it's not as necessary for you because you're already sending them, you're talking to them on the phone, you're doing the reveal. But like the fact that they're showing up on an island, probably thousands of miles from where they live, and they're trusting that you are just going to be able to do this amazing job while they're on vacation. There are no redos. Like if they don't like or the day goes bad. It's not like they can turn around and hire somebody else in the 2 days before they leave. So anything that you can do to like strengthen the relationship and build trust is great. And I just wondered if video was part of that, which you said that it was. So yay, Alison.
Yeah. And that's, I mean, that video is the very first thing they get from me if I have their date open. Now, y'all, I don't do it. If I don't have their date, can't do it. Or if I get a bunch of red flags in their inquiry, I'll text them. I don't ghost anybody, but I don't go out of my way on a Saturday or, a weeknight with my kids to,
So I'm curious, let's say ballpark. Do you have any idea how many emails you are sending your clients from inquiry to delivery?
Yeah. Okay. So if they book a call, let's assume they get all my follow-ups before they finally book that call. So they get the autoresponder, they get my text. But email only, autoresponder, first follow-up, second follow-up, third follow-up before I give up. Then we get on the phone. So I send an email recap. And then if they book, let's assume they book, the invoice email, which comes with the questionnaire. And then the thank you for booking, which comes with the style and select stuff. And then something 3 days, 10 days. There's another one. I don't know what the days in there, at least 10. And then 1 week out. Hey, it's Alison. Yeah. 1 week out. So 11. Hold on. 11. And then I text them before the shoot. So I don't do an email there because they're usually on island. Nobody's looking at your email anyway. And then after the shoot, they get another email. So that's 12. And then they get another email 7 days after that. That's to schedule their gallery reveal. That's 13. Their 24-hour notice to reminder of that reveal is 13. And then they get an email party to place their order and choose their design options.
Yeah, guys. So she just named about 14, 15 emails. And the thing that she left out was she said the reminders for one, but then she didn't say it for the other. So again, she's talking about right around 20 emails. And I want you to realize that in some cases, I feel like Alison is cutting emails out because she's talking to them personally. But yes, that's a lot of emails. And honestly, I don't know that you went through the what to wear. But anyways, I just want to say 20, 25 emails is probably what she's sending. Stop being afraid to email your clients.
Oh my God, please. Yes. And you guys got to think about it. Like, how do you feel in your inbox? Do you miss things? Like, are you inundated with school text or messages from teachers, from sports? Is anybody, times that by 4 for me. I got 4 kids over 2 schools sending out newsletters, sending out fundraisers. Everybody's on a team of something. They're sending, not to mention the promotions. And even with the Gmail promotions tab, y'all, I have 150 emails unread. I've got brown water. I've got emergency. I've got all these things in my primary inbox right now. And this email address that I'm talking about with 159 emails unread, I just started using when we moved to Hawaii. I started this thing where my previous email, I burned it. I burned it. It's gone. It's dead to me. It is a dumpster fire. I keep it around because some like my Garmin Connect is connected to it. My Roomba is connected to it. So that's whatever. Other than that, I don't look at it. I don't touch it. This is a new email in the world of emails. It's 3 years old, not even 3 years old. And it is inundated. Yes, I miss things regularly. So your clients are too. And I would die on is that you feel the same way, your clients feel the same way. So to give them a reminder email every 48 hours until that invoice is complete, that questionnaire is complete, is a service, not a burden.
Yes.
Let
me snap my fingers. Yes, let me snap my fingers at you. I love it. So is there any part of your client experience that you do now, like so many years into your business, that you wish that you could tell people, hey, you should have done this like at the beginning of your business. It will make your life easier. Besides communication, what else is it that they should do?
It's all communication.
Now. Oh, is it all communication? Okay, then you give me the communication.
So it's my text 2 days before clients. So I first started texting clients 2 days out almost 10 years ago. That was pretty forward for 10 years ago, but it came out of my own experience as a mom of 4 little boys who at the time were like maybe 8 and under, 7 and under. So they were, almost 4 to almost 8. That's a bunch of little boys. and I've been planning this photo session for months, or for at least several handful of months. And you get up and you think, is today the day? Is it really today the day? Is it? And I started second guessing myself. I hadn't emailed the photographer, hadn't heard anything in a week or two, but it's like, no, this is double check that email. Yeah. Today in the calendar. Okay. And so I started getting this anxiety of like, is nap time going to go well? Am I going to get them dressed and get there? And it's my mistake. Like, I just started feeling this like low key anxiety that infiltrated my entire day. Of course, because these were going to be sunset sessions. That I hated. And I think I texted my photographer and was like, hey, today's the date, right? Just to get like, we were friends, we were photographer friends. So like, just double checking, right? Like, I just need to know that, that we know that today's the day. And she was like, yeah, it's it. And I was like, okay. I was like, how many of my own clients have felt that way? That we hadn't touched base in a week. We confirmed everything, but they're waking up feeling like they got a little twitch in their eye because they're just not sure. So that's my text the day before, 2 days out. I text them. I say, hey, this is Alison. We're good to go for this date. Here's the pin to your location. I'm going to see you at this date. Do you have any questions? Oh, and the weather update. Here's the weather. And a lot of times 2 days out here in Hawaii, it's like, hey, it might rain, it might not. Too early to tell. We're going to touch base the night before. And so I touch base with them the night before about the weather if we need to. But then also the morning of, this isn't an email, but the morning of, an hour before their session. So right when I go to leave my house, I like to leave super early. I text them because they've got to be up. And if they're not, so what? I say, hey, happy photo day. That is not me being obnoxious and overly excited. That is me like easing your fears that yes, I know, and you know that today's the day.
Yeah.
You need to get up. Yes, it's time.
I mean, speaking of, is there anything else that you've ever had when you hired a photographer for your own family that you were like, yeah, I don't like that. I need to make sure that I never do that in my process. And you change something in your business to make sure that you never did the thing.
Which story do you want? I got a handful. I got a bunch. This is probably my own little shtick, and distaste for ghosting clients doesn't come from my own business experience. It comes from me as a mom, as a consumer, trying to hire another professional for my own family. So as I mentioned before, like, we're active duty military. When we went away and lived in Okinawa for 3 years, I literally said, see you in 3 years. We don't plan to come back. We have a family of 6. We can't afford to fly from Japan to the East Coast. Like, we could have afforded it. We chose not to, right? Ultimately, we ended up spacing back and getting to see everybody. But when we moved back from Japan after 3.5 years back to the Eastern time zone, it was a big deal for both my family in Charleston and my family in Ohio. And I mean, we had babies had been born, babies grew up. And so it was a big point where we were getting lake houses with our one side of the family. We were getting a beach house with the extended side on our other side of the family. And we wanted to do photos. And so I've almost always have had to hire somebody the same way people hire me, out of state, haven't been there, don't know who you are. And a lot of times last minute, because I've got some non-committal family members. I think
not you, Alison.
Not me. And so a lot of times it is a month or less out because, like, I just can't commit. I can. Some of my family can't. And so I've always been that person, and I have had the gamut of find somebody on Instagram. Hey, I DM them. Say, hey, how do you want me to inquire? Oh, right here's fine. Okay. Well, we get to the point of sending contracts and invoices. And I'm like, okay, well, hey, go ahead and shoot me the invoice at this email. Next message is this big old word wall link in Instagram. And I'm like, what? So I have to like open it up on my phone and send it to my laptop to fill out this very long, contract. It's very good, very high quality photographers, guys. I know what I'm looking for. Right. And I can't figure out, am I going to get an email confirmation? Am I going to get a text confirmation? Like, I gave her all my information. Is this continuing in Instagram? And so after a few days of not knowing what was what, I reached out to her on Instagram and said, hey, X, Y, and Z was done. What's the next step? What time slot do you want? And I felt as the client, I was having to ask for next steps, push for clarity, and left completely confused. And this was after, like, I thought we had already set it up. And it was like, okay, well, what now? Same thing happened a little bit more recently. Another photographer, great, so good at her job, had a CRM, actually had a CRM. It wasn't a random page on our website, was doing everything via email, but I didn't know if and when we had set a date. I didn't know. I was like, okay, when do I pay? Like, when do I pay? How do I give you money? Like, and I just felt like it was like days to weeks between emails. Like, and I have no reason. I don't understand why. Like, I just wasn't hearing from her. It wasn't autoresponders. It wasn't actually responses. I want to say it was a better part of a month before, from inquiry, maybe even to payment. But I think I paid her sometime in there. And then after that, we decided a date. That was weird to me, because I was like, hey, she had a hard deadline of some stuff, of her availability. And I was like, okay, cool. That fits perfectly. I'm ready to go. What's your deadline?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, and we knew the location. It was the better part of a month, maybe even 6 weeks.
I mean, Alison, I'm so glad you told this story. I feel like these are the things that I try to communicate to my clients, like fellow photographers, creatives that are setting up their client experience. And they just don't believe me. They're like, you know, I don't need to send my clients all these emails. And when I first introduced my 3P framework, which I'm just going to say it very fast, it is a purpose in every email. You're showing your personality, and you're always giving a preview of what comes next.
Yes.
That preview is the most important, because your client should never finish a task that you have assigned them and wonder what the fuck happens next. Like, they are like Alison, like, do I email them? Like, is she going to email me? And then you're like, I don't want to be pushy. Let me wait a few days. And then a few days later, you're like, oh, well, should I email them? Like, your clients have anxiety if things are not smooth. And the best way to have a high premium experience with your clients is to never leave them hanging. They should know what happens every single step. When they do something, you should thank them and you should tell them what happens next.
Yes.
But I mean, I like my money. Like, when people are like, you know, Coley, is a 5-minute booking process really necessary? Yes, I want my money. If you don't, I don't know what to tell you, but I want to know that that part has been taken care of with as little back and forth as possible. I want to have them pick their service, get them to sign the contract, pay me my money. And then, you know, in the case if we haven't picked a date or we haven't confirmed a date, I want that to happen almost immediately next. Like, all of those things should happen in succession very quickly so that everything is settled. And then it's just getting them prepared for the actual session. Like, the process of getting it confirmed should never take days, weeks, or hell, even a month.
Every single one of my emails, especially after the gallery reveal, when it comes to like all the ordering, deciding, choosing your images, every single one of my emails says next steps. The very first autoresponder says the next step is to jump on a call, look for a text from me. Like, after getting on that call, next steps, hit reply with let's do this, and I'll send you the information for booking. Next steps. Like, it's bold. It's bold. It's in every single one of my emails. You know, and honestly, if your clients, Coley, don't want to be sending emails, are they willing to get on the phone? Because I shorten a heck a lot of my stuff in 20 minutes on a phone call.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like you are one of the few people that, I mean, you know, you were counting and you only got to like 13 or 15. And I'm like, you left a couple, so that's 20. Oh, and then I can probably think of a couple more to get you to 25. But I do feel like the phone conversations, and it's really funny when we are actually recording this, today's episode that went live was about how you still need automated communication for a high touch experience, even if you're talking to your clients, even if you're meeting with them in person multiple times. I mean, I get it. But like, also, there is nothing wrong with having automated communication, especially if it's making the experience consistent and it's making sure that your clients are never in that weird place that Alison described. Like, I mean, are we booked? Are we not booked? I mean, because I told you this before we hit record. I had someone cancel on me when I wanted to do something for Chloe's birthday at Disneyland. I was booked. She said she was going to send me a prep guide and an invoice, and then I got nothing. And it was days later, and then she canceled on me. Now, I mean, was I ever officially booked because I hadn't paid her? I mean, but that wasn't my fault. I was waiting for her to just give me a link to send
Yeah.
money. But like, these things happen. And so we should
so
just make sure
infuriating.
that that's not what happens in our businesses.
Exactly. And as the business owner, it's your job. It's
your
literally
job.
your job. You have to do it. It falls on you.
Yes.
And you know what? As I was listening to you talk, I realized also on my intake form, my inquiry, my web lead form, there's a button they can click if they want more information about what to wear, things like that, photos, tips, and trips, juicy nuggets, if you will. And usually people click that 9 times out of 10. I don't think I've ever had anybody not click it. When that gets clicked, it also adds them to my flow desk communication where they get 1 email a week about how to prep for their photos. And it's a lot of the same information, but again, everybody clicks it and everybody gets like.
Has anybody ever complained to you? Alison, you send too many emails.
No. I had somebody who was probably not a good fit from the outset. I don't think they ever became clients, but somebody did reply to one of those emails that said, "Can you please remove me from your list?" I was like,
Which is
sure,
interesting because there's a subscribe button.
Exactly. And I very politely was like, I think sometimes, I maybe I've gotten a couple times. I can't remember if I said, absolutely, you can unsubscribe by clicking any of the links at the bottom. Or sometimes I might have just done it for them. I don't think I did that because I was like, then I have to go in and find them. And I was like, no. But I was just very positive. Absolutely happy to take you off the list. If you would just go ahead and do that, that'll knock you off right then and there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think I had a really high ticket client last year who was an older client. And she was a bit confused between the emails that were automated and the emails that were her order form. So like for me, because some of them were going to promotions and some because they weren't coming from my server, and some of them were going into her primaries, what I think was happening. But she was like, Alison, I don't know. I don't like, what is this? And I was like, gotcha. And I removed her from, like, we had already executed the session. Like, it was fine. That's the only, that's the closest thing to an overwhelm that I've ever heard of.
That you've ever heard of. I mean, but like that was what, like 2-3 clients out of hundreds?
Yeah. Hundreds, literally. Like, I can go into Tave and tell you how many leads I've gotten. Like, it's over 1,000 leads in my time with Tave in 4 years. Yeah. So yeah, you've got it. Yeah. It's so important, you guys. It's so important. It's another little shtick that I'm here to support Coley because you've got to be a business owner. You just do. You can't just be like, my art will sell it. No, it won't. And I really appreciate what you said, Coley, too, about especially for high ticket. Like, nobody's going to pay you thousands of dollars for artwork from a session if they don't trust you. And this communication, the way you communicate, the way you show up, how often you show up, it instills trust. Trust, your messaging, your expertise, your authority, like all of that plays in to your know, like, and trust factor. And that's how you're going to book more and earn more.
And I mean, that's just from the client perspective. I'm a firm believer that even if you feel like there are too many emails, because what happens is I always have clients that are like, oh, I don't want to send that many emails. And then they start sending the emails like to prep their clients for the session or whatever it is. And then their clients start commenting, oh my God, I'm so happy that you sent this email. Like, I was thinking of asking you this and then you just answered it right away. Thank you so much. Yes. And then they start feeling like, ooh, I am a good business owner. Why, yes, you are. And then it increases their confidence. And then you know what happens when it increases their confidence? They raise their prices and then they make more money. And it's just this cyclical.
Yep. And you can tell people sunrise or bust and
yes.
be comfortable with it because you know somebody else is going to come behind. Like,
exactly. I mean, I always got like, when people are asking me, well, Coley, what about price shoppers? I'm like, no, I have my pricing everywhere. I didn't really get price shoppers except for like the very beginning of my career. I'm like, but also I know for a fact that if I get on a call with someone and they're like, oh no, that's too much money, or, that wasn't exactly what we were looking for, or whatever it is. Oh, that's okay. Because someone else will come and book. Like, you need to have that confidence, and having great systems and providing a premium client experience is how you get comfortable with, okay, thank you very much for your time.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah. I used to be so nervous getting on the phone with every single person. Like, I had notes, I had a flow. I mean, I planned it all out, but like for 6 months I looked at that thing. I was like, okay, what's next? What's next? What's next? I've been doing it for 4 years now. And I just set up my phone. I stand at my desk and I'm like, let's wing it. Let's go.
And the funny thing is, I mean, because again, I asked you about your client experience videos, but I have been on a real kick lately. People who cannot, I was going to say afford, but maybe that's a piss poor word to use in this context, but people who don't have the capacity to get on the phone with every single inquiry.
Yeah.
It's like, how can you build the connection without setting aside synchronous time to do it? And that's when I've been telling people, well, can you record them a video like you did, the 1 minute? Or can you record a video that you're sending everybody that hits all of the points?
Yeah.
And if they have additional questions, they can reach out then to ask an email or to schedule a call. But then at least you're not scheduling a call with everybody. You're distilling it down to just those who need it. Or I have had a lot of people asking me about the video ask on my website. And I'm quick to tell people, I never did video ask in my photography business, but if I needed to, I would have, because it is amazing. They still get you. You're still answering their questions, but you're not setting aside your precious time if you don't have it to talk to them, but they're still getting the same, you hearing your voice, all of the things, if you're responding to them in video.
Man, I forgot about video ask. I tried to set that up like probably 2 years ago, and I was using the free version and I couldn't link to something, and I think I just dropped it and never got back to it.
Allison, I use the free version.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I
so
was trying to do
and
something.
I should chat.
Yeah, I was trying to do something. I don't remember what it was.
You were probably trying to forward them to your scheduler, which you would have to have a paid plan for that.
Yeah,
but
I don't do that. Yeah.
I mean, you could always go back and forth for the communication, and then when they're ready, you could send them the link in a text or in an email, like you were already doing. But like, it's one thing for us to tell people get on the phone, but for a lot of people that we know, that is just not possible. They might have kids that are home. They might have full-time jobs, and they're doing photography on the side.
Has a newborn and homeschools and is a photographer with a studio, and she just she does not have bandwidth for that. But
technology is great. There are other ways for you to build that connection.
I'm gonna have to suggest video ask to her. But what got me thinking is I have another video I forgot about embedded in my email, that after we get on the phone call, that recap email that I send them from our conversation has a video, and it's in order to shorten my time on the call with them, because what I tell them is, I'm going to send you a video link that's going to go through all the specs and differences of the artwork options. Okay. So I tell them, hey, I've got a folio box, I've got an album, or you can do wall art. You'll get the specs and differences in the video, but the most popular is the album, and here's why. But that video, and here's what I use for that, it is just a Canva video. So it's like so Canva has a Loom component to it now, guys. So it is a video of me presenting my a la carte price guide with my little face in the bottom, showing them like, here, this is a folio box. It's this big. It comes with these. This is the difference about this. And it's less than 5 minutes. They can speed me up, and they can look as they're going, oh, okay, folio box. They can do 5, 10, 20. It costs this much as they're doing.
Now, Allison, are you resending it later, or is that the only email that they get it in?
No, it's in that gallery reveal reminder email.
Okay.
Yeah. And so they also get images of the actual price guide, a la carte price guide as well. So they're getting hit with it a few times.
Yeah. I mean, that's to make sure that you don't get anybody who comes to an ordering session like, oh, I didn't know it was going to be that much. Yeah,
it just happened.
I sent it to you 5 times.
Yeah. And it has still happened. Last summer, it still happened. I was like, because there were some red flags. So I was like, what? Really? Okay, cool. Like, like going along with it. They clicked the link in my contract that everything was hunky dory, and they got to it and they're like, nope. I'm like, well, sorry. Like,
I mean,
sorry.
This is what I showed you multiple times. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah. So much more confidence. Just be like, sorry, not sorry.
Yeah. Allison, where can everybody find you? Because you do offer mentoring.
Yeah, I do.
And tips for any of the listening audience that finds themselves in a situation where they are leaving the place that they have built their business and going somewhere and starting from scratch.
Y'all, I've done it 7 times. I have moved my business across the world and back to Japan and back overseas, East Coast, Midwest. I've done it all. Different markets, different things with the military. But I wish somebody was around to just bounce ideas off and figure it out. But I have figured it out myself. I have cobbled together systems at work. I've used it now 3 times, and I am now on my own a 6-figure family photographer based in Hawaii. So I love to help other spouses and women moving and relocating their business. It's not the end of the world. You can do it faster. So AlisonBell.co. It's Alison with 1 L, Bell normal.co. And We also have the podcast, Get Booked. Me and Melissa co-host that together, all about these marketing strategies. We've got a whole episode on how not to ghost your clients, where we probably deep dive some more opportunities and ways you can do that. But if you are moving your business, trying to get new clients because you switch genres or you switch locations, or shoot, you just have questions about how to execute virtual IPS, I'm here for it.
She's your girl. All right, guys. Yeah. She is linked in the show notes. Alison, thank you so much.
Yes,
like this was just an idea that you and I were like, oh my God, we should hop on an episode and talk about this.
Yes.
So it came out even better than I expected.
Absolutely. All because your landing page hit home and just spoke and sung to me and made me say yes, yes, yes. So.
All right, everybody. So what I want to tell you from this conversation is I love talking to other photographers. And I mean, in particular, Alison is not one of my clients. So this is not somebody that I told her what to do and then she did it. But she has, in her 10 years in business, come to the same conclusion that client experience is queen, and everything that you can do to make it consistent is what your clients love, and how you build trust and how you get the rave reviews, the referrals, and in some cases, repeat clients. All right. That's it for this episode. See you next time.